Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the ESL R1 Runners-Up Cup. Today is round 5 here in Road Atlanta. We have our second race over in the United States, and it will be a fairly interesting one. And as usual, I'm not alone to guide you through this race because I'm accompanied by Remco Major.
Good evening and welcome to Road Atlanta. And there is the first spinner.
Hello,
That
ladies and
was
gentlemen, and
quite
welcome back.
an entry to this because qualifying has started. It was Fabian Gulat who was the first one to start his lap. And he went off in the S's because the first part is Road Atlanta. The first part is very twisty. And it can catch you out, and it looks like he has. I mean, he's gonna finish the lap, but probably will start last. So that's already a banger to get into.
Well, it was not expected to see that. I think it's the first time we actually see that on the broadcast.
In qualifying.
Yeah.
Because qualifying, I have not seen someone really spin yet before, right?
No, not really. We are right now watching Ariel Almeida, who is, I think, has his first appearance in the Runners-Up Cup. Of course, well known in the RENNSPORT community. But good to see him in this competition for once. So he will be the first to set a really flying lap.
Exactly, of course. He is driving this. He didn't qualify in top 12 initially, but someone was not available, so he jumped in for him. So it's good to see that he is filling in. He likely will not win today, but it will be great to see where he will end up, because, you know, he's a great guy.
Puts down a 1:22.4.
I mean, at least he doesn't start last.
Indeed. I mean, it's a solid benchmark, I think, for him. As Flavio Tusi will be the first one, I think, to set a really competitive lap time.
Oh yeah, here he is, going to the last part. It's quite an easy last turn. It's just about, it's full throttle. But if you set it up wrong, you can really get it wrong. And it looks like he does a 119.5. Yeah, so who else is in this race? Of course, Nico Nuninghoff is there. Joachim Tander, very well known. Dominic Ladler is well known. Gert-Jan van Alsche is a very common guy. Robin Schetzel is pretty much every single time there. It looks like Chukwere is right now going towards the finish line. Will he be able to set a competitive lap time? A very competitive lap time. He is going to pole position for now with a 119.332. That is a very solid lap time to be able to qualify in front of Tusi.
I mean, we know what Flavio Tusi is capable of, and beating him is not an easy task, let's say. Now, Robin Schetzel has been a solid finisher in this championship so far.
He tends to stay out of trouble most of the time in the race. When others get into trouble, he will be able to gain the places. And it looks like he actually set a 118.8. That's a very quick lap time.
Puts him on pole for now, and actually with quite the gap to the cars behind. But Alizar will be next. The first sector seems to be a bit off. The second sector seems quite well, so he could fit in that Mercedes sandwich.
Talking about Mercedes, this might be the first ESL runners-up with more BMWs than Mercedes drivers. And he puts it in position for the 190.591, just right behind Flavio Tusi.
Now look at Lucas Pompilio, a 40.5 in the second sector. He seems to be the one who can finally beat Nico Nuninghoff today.
Yeah, just before qualifying, there was a practice session, and his lap time was only 2/10 away from Nico Nuninghoff. He right now puts down the benchmark to a 117.9. That is a little bit slower than in the practice. So, but right now the pressure is on Nico Nuninghoff. He will not be able to make a single mistake. He will not be able to take it like very slowly and, you know, still get pole position. He needs to fight for it now. So it will be interesting to see. But right now it's Dominic Ladler. In the Porsche, like always, going to the last sector, last turn, going downhill. It's a very amazing track to drive, by the way. It's so, you know, you're going up, down, left, right, doesn't matter. And Dominic Ladler puts it in P3 with a 119.0. Solid lap time. But still, it will be Nico Nuninghoff, who is coming up to the chicane right now. What will he be able to do? It looks like in Sector 2 he's about a tenth quicker than Lucas Pompilio. But out with the last sector, he takes a much shallower line. He doesn't use all the road, and he goes over the line, and what does he do?
It's
there we go. That's like 3/10 quicker, 117.6. Beautiful lap time, but it looks like Lucas Pompilio is close.
He is really close to Joachim Thunder right now on his flying lap.
Oh yeah, again.
He's pushing that Audi. Of course, the long Audi today, but he is pushing that thing to the maximum here.
After the 1.8.5 update, I tend to drive the Audi pretty much always as well, and it's one of the more playful cars of them. Very hard to drive, very hard to not spin out, but once you find it, be able to drive it on the limit, it's such a fun car. You can definitely like extract a lot of pace out of it. And right now it looks like he's going through the last sector. Also, he's using a lot more track going into this, but you don't need to speed onto the straight. You only need like to be as quick onto the finish as possible. He goes in 8th position with a 119.8. It looks like it's Gertjan van Ost, which is the only one who will drive for now, because I also noticed that there was one DNS. It did not start. Looks like someone is having a problem. It's likely Lefloch, because Van Ost is right now in the last sector. And what will Van Ost do? Over the line, and he goes P6. And P6, that is a very solid place to start from. Really close to everyone. But indeed, Lefloch, indeed, the DNS. I hope he will be there for the race start. We will see that, though. There's a short practice session in between. Looks like he's still on the server, because there are 12 people on the server, so... yeah.
Well, while they are in practice session getting some lap times in, we can talk you through what will happen this week, because there are kind of a few interesting things to go in the next couple of days. And, well, I think, of course, tomorrow will be the next round of the RENNSPORT Community League, actually at the same track, just for a bit longer, as it will be a 45-minute race instead of just, well, today I think we will have 13 to 14 laps. Something like that. But RCL, of course, a 45-minute race, meaning pit stops and all that kind of stuff. I think that will be very interesting. You've done a lot of long races on Road Atlanta now, in different platforms, but also one on RENNSPORT. Do you have some teasers? And Remco probably not listening right now.
No, I was trying to find out on the Discord if there was anything on Nicolas Lefort, but I cannot see anything, and it looks like he's still stuck in the pits, so I'm not sure she's gonna drive. But yeah, what were you saying?
Well, tomorrow we have RCL at Road Atlanta. You've done a 1-hour race in the RWA League. What do you think we can expect for tomorrow? Slightly shorter race, but still a pit stop needed.
Oh, definitely. As I said, Road Atlanta, it's quite a difficult track. The first part is all turns, just turn after turn after turn, where you will overheat your tires. You will not be able to make a single mistake. If you overheat the tires, you will spin out, and it will snowball a little bit the wrong way. But I think it's going to be a great race. Everyone will be challenged for sure.
And on Sunday, there will be another very special race. We will talk you through more details about that after the race, because we want to spend a bit more time on that. But to be short, it will be a 2.4-hour race, the longest race we ever had in RENNSPORT. That's for certain. And it will be very, very interesting. But now the people get ready on the grid for the race to start.
Exactly. They are getting ready for the rolling start. Again, the leader, Nico Nuningov, will be on the inside. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting. It does look like everyone is on the grid and everyone is moving. So we will be going with 12 cars. That is good to see. That is very good to see.
But of course, on front row, it's Nico Nuningov against Pompilio.
Mercedes versus BMW as well. So it looks like the lights are coming onto the screens right now. People are getting ready. Pace car is going into the pits. Of course, it will likely be a little bit before it goes green. The speed limit they are allowed to go is 80 kilometers an hour. So that's why they drive it slowly. And when it goes green, there it is right now, and they are off racing. And it looks like yes, Nico Nuningov is not leading into turn 1. Did Pompilio go too early?
Nico Nuningov is around.
Oh, Nico spun. Nico Nuningov spun. This is interesting. It's a short race, so will we be able to get back? That is going to be really interesting to see. What happened there?
It looked like he wanted to go like down the inside of Lucas Pompilio and lost the car in the dirty air. Lost front end grip and basically the car went round. I mean, to be fair, he hasn't experienced that situation all that much in these races. But it seemed like a typical driver ever into turn 1. Didn't see any contact.
You do not see that often. They're definitely not at this kind of level. Like, Nico Nuningov is one that would be like really close to R1 level. Like, but this I did not expect. Turn 1 is a very difficult turn. You will always get pushed towards the outside, which is towards the curb stones. If you go hit that curb, you're around. But it didn't look like he hit the curb yet. It might even have been contact, but it looks like behind there, it's Van Os going around the outside.
He's defending from Robin Schätzle here for P3. Great start by him there.
Exactly. And it looks like Van Os has stayed in front for P3. But everyone is going for moves. Oh, look at that. Behind them, they try to go too wide into turn 1. That's not going to happen. I mean, Nico Nuningov already noticed that it's not going to happen. And Nico Nuningov is quite far behind looking at it. Nico Nuningov is around 7 seconds behind P11, which is Lefort, who is driving, which is great to see. But at front, it's Pompilio driving away. This might be it's very likely going to be the first time that Nico Nuningov is not going to win. I mean, in ESL Runners Up Cup, because as mentioned before, I have won against him at Spa. But let's keep it ESL R1.
You had to bring that up, right?
I had to bring it up.
But look at the train behind from P3 to P7 around about. That's crazy to see how close they are here. And also Dominik Ladler is not far off Lucas Pompilio. He might not be in a range to really... Oh, and big crash there.
Everyone goes straight. Like 3 people. It was Flavio Tusi, Gertjan van Os, and I think... Tusi, what happened to Tusi? Did he spin?
Seems like Tusi had a mechanical issue.
Interesting. What happened there? Because Tusi is out of the top 10 and it looks like in the pits. He might... Wait, did he get stuck or something?
It looked a bit like a wheel disconnect, if you ask me, in terms of how the wheels behaved once he stood in the gravel trap.
Yes, I personally didn't see what exactly happened to him, but that's very likely. If your wheel disconnects, it is trouble, of course, because you cannot steer the car, but also... I think once you reconnect, though, you will still get force feedback, because I've had it before. But I mean, he's out.
To be realistic, he would have been out of this race, basically.
Yes. As I said, Nico Nuningov likely isn't going to win this race, because it's only 10 laps long. He needs to be really quick and a lot quicker, and Pompilio is far too close to his pace to be able to do that. And Dominik Ladler as well, it looks like. There is a pace difference between Dominik Ladler and Pompilio, though. And I don't think Dominik Ladler is going to put any pressure on Pompilio. But that's just because Mompilio is so insanely quick. Dominic Latter is still a very quick driver. I mean, at this point, there are 10 other drivers not beating him. So, but as you said, the midfield was very close. It still is, by the way. But that was also in qualifying. We also saw very close lap times between them. In the meantime, Nico Nuninghoff is P9 because of that one disconnect, and of course overtook 2 people already. I'm sorry to say for Ari Almeida, not the pace that he probably wants to be at, but yeah, Nico Nuninghoff is just insanely quick, of course.
I mean, he's still in a very respectable P10 in this race. But I also want to mention Gert van Osch. He started P6, if I recall that correctly. He's running in P3, has had now, I think, or has been involved in that collision with Robin Schätzler and Flavio Truzzi, which basically sent him straight in the chicane they're approaching now. But he's still holding on to that P3. He's building a gap to the Mercedes behind. It's looking very good for him here so far.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I mean, he will be getting under pressure from Robin Schätzl, but I mean, he has enough experience from last races, from battling people. I mean, a lot more experience than Nico Nuninghoff had. Nico Nuninghoff spun, so maybe he will not spin. He is getting under pressure right now, though. There's only a few tenths in between them, 2 tenths. But at this part, this first section, you cannot really overtake unless you've got a lot more speed. In multi-class racing, you see it usually happening around here, around the outside. But not happening if it's just GT3s.
I mean, also Joachim Thunder, he's up to P7.
Ooh, I saw something in the background. Someone is having internet issues. And that is Kamto Chukwere is having internet issues and is warping around. It looks like it's going back to normal again, but that was really dangerous. Behind him it was Fabien Gilliot instantly flashing his lights, warning him, but it looks like it's fixed itself. So the race goes on, and it's Nico Nuninghoff right now into the one very good overtaking opportunity. Going towards the inside. Actually, it's outside of this right king, but it's going toward the inside for the chicane. And it looks like it's going to be a very easy overtake on Alizea. And there he goes. And up to the next one, I guess. Next one is Joachim Thunder. Yeah, exactly. Also a very well-known driver, of course, in RENNSPORT. He's been there since the beginning, pretty much. And let's see how he will handle as a sole Audi driver the mighty Mercedes with Nico Nuninghoff in it.
I mean, I don't expect Joachim Thunder to defend to the teeth. There's still 4 laps to go. But he is a very smart driver. He might just cling on to Nico Nuninghoff, trying to get closer to the 2 cars in front.
Meanwhile, it's Kamto Chukwera going wide, and it looks like he is under attack. Fabian Gillett is in front of him, even before the turn, and behind it, it's Joachim Thunder getting overtaken with Nico Nuninghoff. Sadly for Joachim Thunder, but very much expected. But that was just a small mistake from Chukwera, and it means you're getting punished in this high level of a field.
Can I just ask you something?
Yes, you can.
Wasn't the 97 car the car that we saw spinning off in Sector 1 in qualifying?
Yes, that is exactly true. He started completely dead, second to last, because of course there was one issue, but it looks like he is like not that bad of a driver indeed, because you'd expect if you start last that you wouldn't have the pace, but of course if it's only due to a mistake. We've got like Tim Schröder, who is not driving this time around, but he is very good in qualifying, and in the race he usually falls back. And I think Gilliot might be the other way around, or maybe Gilliot just pushed too hard, he wanted too much, but it looks like Gilliot might actually keep on going forward and maybe put some pressure on Robin Schätzl, who's less than a second ahead. But Robin Schätzl is even less than a second ahead of, less than 1 second behind Gert-Jan van Os still. And it looks like this is going to be a 3-way fight for the podium.
Indeed, I mean, it would be great, probably one of the best recovery drives we've seen in ESL R1 Runners-Up Cup so far by Fabian Güller, if he can get on the podium, especially. As we see now Nico Nüninghoff and come to Shure trying it around the outside this time, but easily outbreaking his Mercedes colleague there. He's on a move. He really wants to make up that lost time.
Oh, of course, Nico Nüninghoff has got the pace, and this is something he hasn't done a lot. And it looks like with all that overtake, he still doesn't have the same pace as Lucas Pompilio, who still has the best lap time. So actually 1.5 tenths quicker than Nico Nüninghoff. So Pompilio definitely has the pace. Last time around at the Hockenheim, we saw his pace in the first part, but he got like overtaken by Dominic Lattler, I think, in turn 1. And that meant he had to fight him before he could look at Nico Nüninghoff, and so there was a gap created. But right now, you know, Nico Nüninghoff is the one in the fight, and he does not have the same pace as Pompilio right now.
But he's now closed up to P5, who's close to P4, who's close to P3. He might end up on the podium if he continues at this rate. There's still 2 laps to go. But I think he would have
That would be 3 people in 2 laps. That would be insane if he managed that. Right now, he's going for the first of the moves. And looks like on the inside, yeah, I mean, quite straightforward. Fabian Güller did not want to let him through as easily. Tried to keep them on the outside, but Nico Nüninghoff is very good under the brakes. And sets his eyes on the next person in front of him, which is Robin Schatzel. Who, by the way, has the same livery as him as well, so... And it looks like through these twitchy sections, he will likely gain a lot of time on them, because that is where he can gain time, and it looks like he's instantly on the rear bump of Robin Schatzel. Schatzel is also very close to Van Os. But he will not be able to put pressure on Van Os, because he's getting pressurized right now by Nico Nüninghoff, who is setting up another overtake, an easy inside move. No, he's staying behind. I mean, he thought about it, but was like, I'm gonna back it out. I spun once already. I'm not gonna do that again. And here's another set. Oh, oversteer actually.
Don't commentator curse it.
No, I am going to do that. But that does mean that his run onto the one of the best overtaking opportunities is not going that well. Looks like he might even be under pressure from Gullit.
But look at that forecast in less than a second. Schatzel to the inside.
He's going for double overtake. No, that's not gonna happen. The one over to wide, and it's
but
a spin.
Schatzel is around.
Schatzel went around. He tried going on Van Os, and then probably got scared from Nico Nüninghoff, and just, you know, I think there might even have been contact with Van Os, and that turned him around. But that was so close, and it's amazing to see he didn't take anyone with him. But right now it's 1 lap left for Nico Nüninghoff, and no, he's not going to do it there. He's not going to do it there. That is just asking for a crash if you try it there. As I said, this twisty section, you're not going to go too wide through there without an accident unless you're multi-class. Looks like, I mean, I see a lot of moving around from Nico Nüninghoff. He's not in as comfortable spot he's used to. But here comes his last and probably his best opportunity to go for that podium on Gertjan van Os. And it's all on Gertjan van Os to defend. Oh, no. He made an oversteer, and that does mean he's going to be under pressure. And the draft with Nico Nüninghoff, who's helping him. Nico Nüninghoff going towards the inside. And this looks like it's going to be an easy outbreaker maneuver. The king to the right, going downhill into the braking zone. And it looks like he has it before braking even. Yes, there we go. And so that does mean Pompilio has won the race with the 174 as the best lap, which is better than Nico Nüninghoff did. No, never mind. He did a 117.2. So it's Lucas Pompilio in front of Dominic Lattler and Nico Nüninghoff rounding off the podium. And behind it, it's Gertjan van Os, who really defended well and kept people behind him. Fabian Gilliard
only one
come to Chukwueze. Yeah, only 110 behind. It has been really close. Chukwueze is in 6th, Joachim Tanner in 7th, Robin Schatzel in 8th, Ali Zaher in 9th, and in 10th it's Ariel Almeida, who did very well on his first appearance of the ESL R1 Runners-Up Cup.
What a race it has been. I mean, that incident in turn 1 is something that will probably definitely get looked at by the different parties involved, but I didn't see any contact between the two cars. But for Nico Ninninghoff, what a recovery drive. For Lucas Pompilio, what a way to come in here and show himself.
Exactly. I'm really interested to going to the RENNSPORT Discord right now. Maybe Nico Ninninghoff will be in there talking about what happened. So I'm keeping an eye on that. And there he is. Nico Ninninghoff is typing. So it will be interesting to read what he has to say about this. I mean, he congratulations Lucas Pompilio. He's not about himself even. So, I mean...
Meanwhile, I got some news about Flavio Tusi, what happened there in the incident we've seen in the chicane. And it actually was a real failure. Or not the real failure, because his brake pedal broke off in the braking zone.
Oh dear. Yeah, he posted a video on the RENNSPORT Discord. Go to the RENNSPORT Discord, by the way, if you are not in there. A lot of good stuff going on there. But it literally broke the plastic. How did that even happen?
But that, I mean, it was lucky that it didn't happen or cause any more damage than it did. It basically just sent Van Osch and Schätzle straight across the grass there. But nothing race ending. But yeah, what a race it has been for parties. Also, Dominic Ladler, we haven't talked about him because he's not.
He was just in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but for him, it's I think the first podium finish in the Runners-Up Cup, if I'm not mistaken. But a P2 in this championship is so valuable, especially for him who's been a regular contender for this race. For Gio as well, coming from far back to still finish P5. I think there are so many good stories for the people in this race. Van Osch as well, of course, with that P4 can be very happy after Hockenheim last time around, where he had that contact with Tim Schroeder. And
yeah, I mean, I'm just reading what Gertjan van Os said. He's happy with Ford just missed the podium, but he's happy, so that's good.
He missed the podium to Pompilio, Ladler, and Ninninghoff, and that's not a shame. Definitely not.
That's not a shame at all, indeed. By the way, Nico Ninninghoff, he said he's not sure if he hit Pompilio, but he just lost the car instantly. So, I mean, if even Nico Ninninghoff himself doesn't know if there was contact, it was really close, and it likely would have been a little bit of avoidance as well. And once you go, you know. Definitely in turn 1, it's a really quick turn, bumpy. So... looks like just a driver error.
Well, even the best can have some off days, let's say. But
oh, definitely.
Maybe it's time to talk about the Spa race that we have this Sunday. As said, previously it will be the longest race we ever had in RENNSPORT. A 2.4-hour race, 144 minutes. I think many of you will be familiar with the system. And it will feature GT3s. It will start at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. CEST, that is. And it will have a full day night cycle and more info that will be posted on the Discord in the RENNSPORT community events channel. So stuff like tire usage and fuel usage, for example, will be, of course, quite the big factor in this race. And I think it will be very interesting to see over such a distance. And of course, it will also feature 24 cars. That means an even bigger grid. We had 24 car races at Spa already, but with the multi-class formula, and that already had a lot of action. Now imagine 24 cars of the same class. Well, you've driven lots of endurance races with many cars. How would you describe that?
Multi-class, you need a lot of trust in your competitors, definitely. And I mean... There will be speed differences, of course, and definitely at Spa there will be, difficulties in some of the turns, but there's also enough straight to overtake. So, yeah, how do I describe multi-class? Difficult, but single class. It's single class?
It's single class GT3 only.
Oh, I mean, you should have told me.
Well, I told you, but never mind.
Like you said, oh, of course, yeah. I was thinking about like I wanted to feature the multi-class events, which are also on that list. But in the single class GT3s, I mean, you've seen what GT3s can do on the long run. There will likely be a little bit less pushing because a mistake is easily made, as a few drivers show today.
Well, it will all come down to consistency in the end, I guess. I mean, Nico Nüninghoff after this race and after the RWL race will be able to sing a song about that. So let's see. I hope we can see him back for that race. That would be very cool. Same goes for pretty much everyone we've seen here today. But as said, more info will be posted on the Discord. You will also see a small fancy trailer as soon as we said our goodbyes, because it's time for us to say goodbye to you for today. And we have one more race to go. And that will also be, we've talked a lot about this track, but it will be at Spa. We know that Spa always delivers. We've seen so much action in the short formats there as well due to the many overtaking opportunities. So I think it will be a grand finale. So make sure to check that out as soon as it's ready. Or maybe even try to qualify for it. Of course, on Wednesdays there are the qualifying sessions. And do you want to add something, say something final to this race today or to Spa next time?
I mean, be sure to join the Spa race this Sunday. I'm gonna say that first because it's gonna be huge. Next time, with the ESL R1 Runners-Up Cup on Spa, it will be interesting again. I mean, but there are more and more good drivers getting in there and actually challenging Nico Nüninghoff. Maybe you're the one who can, and I hope if you are the one that you can show it on track.
Well, with all that said, it's time to say goodbye, and we see you next time around. Until then, take care, have a good time, have a great evening, and goodbye.
Goodbye.